Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews where today we have ourselves a track from Axe Kill Bill the rapper as well as Rev titled Dogma. And if we switch over to here, we have this off of the album Keep the Change. Apparently this album was released on June 20th, 2024 and having a look here, it's gotten a good amount of attention in that time, which is great. It's only a few days ago now. So we're going to listen through this track from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go, Dogma.
This.
I mean, it's ferocious, isn't it?
I seen this place before. Forward and back where the pegs don't fit. Running these legs won't quit. Fuck it, we on. If it's something you wanted, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Don't start it, I'm shitting on you. They told me they knew me, the fuck do you mean I would die before I get to know you? One step.
I would die before I get to know you.
Wiping the mud from my shoes. Don't give a fuck if it's cool. Homie, there's blood in the pool. Homie, there's fins in the water. I lost a limb in the slaughter. I took a blow to the bag. Fuck it, I'm growing it back. Nerve thinners dancing, let it spark. Burdens hold their hands up in the dark. Said I'd never come back to your grave. Guess our fate was channeled in the stars. I don't believe in seconds, feel the play. I leave a map, pick you up in my scars. Running my tongue along the thinnest blade. I saw the truth in you up in my cars. Every day I feel them wiggle. One chamber to another chamber, counting blood stains on the sickle. Growing from one vein to a trickle. Tell them what I seen this place before. Forward and backward, it's nothing to me, man. A body's a body, say fuck it and grieve while you crying a corpse. I'm like, fuck it, I'm free.
I mean, it's so visceral, man. I'm listening to these lyrics, you know, as I should be doing, but like this, the talk about the blood in the water and the fins and like the blood on the sickle and the veins and all that, it's just so vivid. And what part of what works about it is just the consistency of that loop in the background. You get familiar with it initially, and it almost like fades as an aesthetic in the distance to what's going on lyrically. And the guy is so like low keys in his lower range there, and is like a bit of grit to it and everything like that. It's very menacing. I mean, it's wild, dude. It's wild. The whispering and then the different styles of vocals, the fry there is tremendous. I don't know how to read this. I don't think I've really listened to music like this before.
Eyes, jaw, teeth, grind, knees, buckle. Roll one hit, one scene, double. Feel the drum beat, pummel. Liberate us, we up, yo, we don't hear you over here. Our pack, smoke in the air. Our chains smell broken air. Round the fire like a slow conveyor. Shed my skin and parade my new coat. Arteries drawing fresh plasma. Force of habit when I'm letting you talk. But I don't listen, I project laughter. You reel at my feet. Harvesting fragments of feelings in me. Now they're peeling in me. Stay keeping my dick in your teeth. Forward and backward, no missing a beat. We don't chase shadows, we cast it. Past horizons, they keep dancing. Watch them tower over your domain. Heartbreak beats leave chasms. This is ritual. Out with the old and in with the new. It's more than a song or a visual. This what we do. Kill, burn, snuff, dust. More, laugh, wait, shake. Rise, stretch, grow, stand. Hunt, fight, feast. This what kill, burn, snuff, dust. More, laugh, wait, shake. Rise, stretch, grow, stand. Hunt, fight, feast. Dance.
I'm so impressed. It's not often that I almost feel stupefied by a song that I listen to. I feel like if you have to say it's genuine, you are almost aware that people not might not think you genuine. This is legitimate genuine. This is quite a unique style, isn't it? Like I've listened to a fair bit of hip hop during the reviews that I've done over the years, but it's just the combination of just how low key and sinister a lot. We'll talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an Axe Kill Bill, the rapper, and Rav. This track titled Dogma off of the Keep the Change album. I haven't listened to either of these musicians before, but I am enamored with their style of doing things. It's so wild, like how much real estate, like how much mileage they got out of the way. Not because it was like, not because I consider it to not be well done, but just the consistency of the way we spoke and rapped in those parts. We had a very similar personality. We weren't trying to sort of come away from that. It was very low key. It was kind of like almost, it was like it was threatening in a way. It was threatening and very intense. And the whispers on the side when you came in, and then the chorus sections there, like kill, burn, fight, or something like that. Like I didn't get all the words clearly there, but I feel like it was also about how it made you feel, and it just felt a little bit claustrophobic at that point, which was kind of incredible, really, for just the vocals being whispered on the side of the stereo field alone to make me feel like that. I'm not sure what we were trying to communicate lyrically with the kind of the screamed part near the end, whether it was just like going up in a climax towards a crescendo before going from, I suppose, Kill Bill the rapper to Rav's part, as I understand it, a collaboration. But either way, I think it's really cool. And I think that if I was to sort of talk about what I think the track was about, I think we were talking at points about like blood in the water, sickles, and sharks and there's blood. The definition for dogma is a principle or set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. And I think that the way we were discussing things with the first talking about the sickle and the danger there and the fights we'd gotten through to get to where we were, dying before they'd want to get to know you or something along those lines. The second one, the part about got like, and I could be wrong, and I apologize if this is the case, got like my dick between your teeth or something like that, like leaving like chasms with breakbeats. It's that they're discussing the way they do things and the sort of the power they have over others and the complete lack of wanting to fucking care or know them or about them. The power dynamic there is evident there, and it's really effective. You get the feeling immediately listening to this, these are people you don't want to mess with. So I think in that regard, if that was the intent, they did incredibly well with that. The flow was effective. They're clearly both experienced musicians, and I've got no doubts that they'll continue to have a successful career based on the way that they do things vocally alone or lyrically alone. But the track itself was 3.5 minutes, and for what it's worth, I think the bomb, like we had this one bass line which just stuck on this root note, almost like it was unmoving. We never really separate ourselves from that until we got to the whispery bits and they sort of took over, and then we had a slight change to the drums, but where things sort of rose a little bit. There was almost like a riser effect, but then like there was a fade out, as you know if you'd listened to it, because I'm assuming you have been listening to it with me, but you know what I mean, it's just like it was like ABC, and typically speaking, that is enough to get us through 3.5 minutes, but it's the vocals that made it so much more intriguing. But I suppose even without the vocals, I listened to like the initial theme. You've just got like sounds of like walking or like blah 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 with the boom, you know, that bass, one bass note and a yep, and it's these sounds where I think individually you might be like, how could we make a beat out of this? But they knew the pieces to put together in the mix and the ingredient in terms of arrangement to slick it. I mean, like, to be fair, if I was to talk about some of the instruments that I liked in the mix, it would be the bass line. It was just so simplistic, but the tone of it sounded so fragmented and almost kind of like it sounded dusty and dirty, like you're about to get into the mud with these people, like you're about to throw down. I think that was effective. There was an aggression, but it wasn't too obvious. It's so minimalist with the percussion as well, though. It was simply a way of looping things and to tell the listener that there was a bar shift. The riser part dun 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 with almost kind of like filtered snares though, with the vocals again sort of screaming, like getting into that higher range there. It was almost just to show waves and stages there, the beats of the music like moving forward like that. It's more of a theatrical environmental effect, which is kind of wild to me. I'm so used to drums being a certain way depending on the style of hip-hop and rap that you listen to, but with this it just seems like almost like you were just walking along, and this was just a walk in the park for these guys. I honestly think that if you'd had like more defined kicks, sort of snares or rims, and then hi-hat patterns and stuff like that, it would have taken away from it. Most of the percussiveness came from the rhyming and the rapping and stuff, and I think that alone forces you to pay more attention to it. And because again the vocals were interesting, they were quiet, so you had to pay closer attention to it. That was clever on that front. The foley of like the people like talking, like the crowd noises and stuff like that, almost like you were talking about the crowd surrounding you, like they were in the distance because you were like above them or something like that, was an interesting move. I mean, like you had slight occasional like offbeat like ride or cymbal passages in that kick and snare kind of riser bit in the third part with the growls. That's wild to me. I think this is one of the few times I've listened to a track without any sort of like core melodies or harmonies apart from that one bass note and thought it was good. They managed to do something that they've genuinely impressed me today. I'm really happy with that. And I think that if anything, the fact that it's different is really good, because you just don't often get that nowadays. Theme overall, I think the the complete lack of harmonic elements for the most part, it just kind of forces you to pay attention to those vocals and really nothing else apart from the bass note at the start of each run, or the kick snare groove there that we have there, and then that riser section there, just to kind of, I suppose, go up and then drop again. It's just, yeah. It's the epitome of vocals are the main focal point. I would even suggest that there wasn't even necessarily a theme. It was just meant to sound low and almost like you're in the danger zone, I suppose. But yeah, I feel like anything more would be sort of like superfluous about the theme and the note choices there. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was tight. It was really tight. There was a great clarity to the vocals, a nice bit of polish to them, even though they were in their low range. There was a lot of crispness there. The bass was deliberately sort of filtered and designed, I think, to be a little bit sort of more low-key, but a little bit dusty sounding, a little bit grittier. The drums there that we had there were an interesting, unusual tone there. There was an interesting filtering that was going on with the drums and that riser section there where they weren't as defined there, and I think it was meant to sound sort of misty sounding there. The way that sort of reverb and delay chains were done was tight in that riser section as well. The vocals, the different vocal styles were visceral, but they weren't overly in your face. The animosity came from what the quietness, like the danger of the words and the way they're being expressed with like this quiet kind of you've done fucked up kind of vibe. I think ultimately there was just a great balance between whatever instrumental parts they were behind the vocals. The structurally things transferred really neatly in a way that was predictable and satisfying. There was dynamic range to this. Things weren't the same loudness the entire time. Part of that was whatever few layers being taken away, or like with the whispering part, the panning as well, that was part of what affected the perceived loudness, is how the whispers were in your ear and everything like that. So I think the panning stereo field was followed up, and yeah, it was nice and low with that bump because of the bus compression and limiting was handled. I mean, effectively this was quite a unique experience for me. I'm glad I had the opportunity to review it. I haven't really listened to stuff like this before, but I'm glad that I did. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Kill Bill the Rapper and Rap some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever thought of crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.